Coming up, we meet doctors at Tzu Chi Hospitals who joined the first disaster survey team to Nepal. We learn more about the problem of air pollution in Taiwan and how it affects residents' lives. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Helen Liao. Thank you for joining us. In response to the catastrophe in Nepal, Tzu Chi has assembled its first disaster survey team made of experienced volunteers and top-notch doctors from its hospitals. Fully stocked in emergency supplies, the 15-member team left for Nepal from Taiwan on Monday. After a short layover in Bangkok, the team was supposed to continue on to Kathmandu. However, due to closure at the airport, the team was forced to stay overnight in Bangkok along with the rest international rescue teams. Thankfully, the team has successfully secured a flight to Kathmandu the next day and has arrived in Nepal. To ensure the team is properly supplied, over a ton of medical supplies and equipment has been prepared by the Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital.
At the Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital, staffs are working quickly to get the medical supplies to Nepal ready. In just 6 hours, they have readied 54 different kinds of supplies and equipment, which weighs over 1 ton.
IV solutions take up more space, but if patients suffer external injuries, they will have to replenish their fluid. Because due to the sanitation of the environment, they might develop infection or if their situation is critical. For those with chronic illness, we have prepared all kinds of medication so they won't run out.
Besides the supplies, the hospital has also dispatched several of its doctors to join the first disaster survey team to Nepal so they can provide immediate medical assistance. Special request has also been made to the Ministry of Health and Welfare for the expedited processing of these medical supplies.
We have made a special request to the Ministry of Health and Welfare so that we may receive the paperwork to export these supplies by 8 this morning, so they may reach those in Nepal in time.
The staff give those going to Nepal their blessings and well wishes. Hopefully, everything will progress smoothly and the survey team can properly deliver all this love from Taiwan.
On April 27, a delegation of Tzu Chi volunteers and medical doctors with expertise in disaster relief set out for Nepal in hopes of providing help to those in need. Among the doctors is Director Li Yigong of DaAi Tzu Chi Hospitals Emergency Department and Director Wang Jianxing of Hualien Tzu Chi Hospitals Trauma Unit. Next, we find out more about these doctors.
Dr. Wang Jianxing has long been concerned about expanding health education in Taiwan's remote regions.
We can put more effort into health education in these parts. If local residents take these lessons to heart, then it can decrease their chances of becoming sick.
Suffering from the final stages of oral cancer, Mr. Yin's face has been invaded by bacterial infection. Dr. Wang not only helped remove the tumor, but also reconstructed Mr. Yin's face.
Maybe having an operation was his last hope. My wish was that he didn't have to live with a tumor for the rest of his life.
With its expertise in reconstructive surgery and the treatment of burn victims, Dr. Wang's medical skills will surely be put to good use as part of the Tzu Chi disaster relief and medical team heading to help quake survivors in Nepal. As the director of the emergency department of DaAi Tzu Chi Hospital and the head of the Jiayi County Emergency Medical Unit, Li Yigong was one of the first doctors on the scene following the train accident on Mount Ali in 2013.
We have limited manpower, not enough medical supplies, and many injured patients. It's a very chaotic and difficult situation to get under control.
With over 20 years of experience in the emergency room, Dr. Li has learned to work under pressure. He also contributed to many disaster relief missions. Superintendent of Taichung Tzu Chi Hospital, Jian Shouxing, also has plenty of experience working in disaster relief. He once held the honor of attending more tumor-free clinics than any other doctor.
With the united efforts of Tzu Chi volunteers, we can see a ray of hope. This hope also let us know that as long as we work hard, then seeds of hope can be planted.
Bringing a sense of hope in times of disaster, Tzu Chi volunteers and team members hope the medical supplies and personnel heading to Nepal will help ease the worries of the survivors.
Just this year alone, several large tremors have occurred in Taiwan, Japan, and most recently, the 7.8 magnitude quake in Nepal. Seismologist says that the world has now entered a more active seismic period. Next, we find out the reasons behind such occurrence and what this means for us.
The catastrophic 7.8 magnitude earthquake in Nepal occurred because of two converging tectonic plates, the India Plate and the overriding Eurasia Plate to the north. Looking back over the major tremors of the last decade, the ones in Sumatra, Indonesia in 2004, in China's Wenchuan in 2008, and in northeast Japan in 2011 were all 8.0 in magnitude or greater. Seismologists say this is because the Earth has now entered a heightened period of seismic activity.
We are seeing the occurrence of two very important phenomena. The first is that seismic activity is increasing. We are experiencing more and more earthquakes, and they are also getting stronger each time.
Since 1979, the world experienced on average 7 to 8 earthquakes of 7.0 magnitude or greater each year. However, after 1992, the frequency of tremors increased significantly. In 2014 alone, there were more than twice as many big earthquakes compared to the past. Although an earthquake is the result of release of energy in the Earth's crust, the increase in frequency can be attributed to global warming.
Thermal energy that is accumulated on the Earth's surface is mainly concentrated in the ocean, while some is stored in Earth's crust. When that energy builds up, seismic activity also increases.
Scientists also caution that as the surface energy continues to build up, this also increases the likelihood of Taiwan experiencing a 7.0 magnitude earthquake or greater. Hence, Academia Sinica's Institute of Earth Sciences has been researching earthquakes over 6.0 in magnitude in hopes of developing an early warning system and implementing preventive measures.
In 1993, Nepal was struck by one of the worst floods in the history of the country, claiming the lives of more than 1,300 people. Upon learning of the severity of the tragedy, Tzu Chi volunteers traveled to the country to extend a helping hand. Besides offering emotional support, the volunteers also constructed a total of 1,800 houses to give flood survivors a safe place to call home. Nepal is the birthplace of the Buddha. It is also a landlocked country located in the Himalayas. Due to the country's location, Nepal has little contact with the outside world and is considered one of the most isolated countries on the planet. Taking a trip to Nepal, one can sense that it is not only poor but also underdeveloped. In 1993, Nepal was struck by devastating floods brought by the monsoon season. Under the request of the Mongolian and Tibetan Affairs Commission, on September of 1993, the Tzu Chi Foundation mobilized a team of volunteers to conduct disaster assessments in Nepal. During the period from 1993 to 1995, Tzu Chi volunteers traveled from Taiwan to Nepal numerous times to care for those affected by the disaster.
Namaste.
After 16 months of construction, a total of 1,800 new homes were built in areas previously damaged by the floods.
The government of Nepal provided the Tzu Chi Foundation with the land to build the homes, and Tzu Chi will take care of the funds required to build them. Together, we will work hand in hand on behalf of the flood survivors. After the establishment of these homes, we hope residents can keep the surrounding environment clean and tidy.
Although years has passed since Tzu Chi volunteers first set foot in Nepal, in the wake of the recent quake, volunteers once again are ready to travel thousands of miles to the birthplace of Buddha to offer much-needed physical and emotional support. The documentary Under the Dome by former CCTV anchor Chai Jing raised awareness about the severity of air pollution in China. As air is not confined by borders, Taiwan also falls under the threat of pollutants from China. However, experts point out that actually Taiwan is responsible for 70% of its air pollution. Today we begin a new series that investigates the problem of air pollution in Taiwan.
Because of low visibility, it took the patrol boat another 30 minutes to locate them. Since 2014, we have discovered that the haze seems to be getting thicker. It was becoming more difficult to see between lighthouses. Once we had to shut down the port for a whole day.
Experts say besides the haze from China, the causes of Taiwan's air pollution are the petrochemical plants in the south, the coal power plant in the center, and an enormous amount of motor vehicles in the north.
With Taiwan being so small, we have over 14 million motorcycles and 6.5 million cars, plus all the diesel trucks. This makes us the country with the highest density of motor vehicles in the world.
Lurking behind the haze is the threat of particulate matter 2.5.
These fine particles are suspended in the air and basically never fall to the ground and can easily penetrate into the human body.
PM 2.5 are fine particles 2.5 micrometers or less in diameter, which is about 1/28th the thickness of a human hair. Invisible to the eyes, they are complex in composition.
A lot of different substances make up these fine particles. We are particularly concerned about mercury, lead, cadmium, and chromium, basically heavy metals and dioxins.
Though 30% of these fine particles come from China, 70% are produced locally, and thus all of Taiwan is affected no matter where one is.
Air is not confined by borders. When northeast seasonal winds are blowing, they will carry the pollutants from China, as well as those in northern Taiwan to the south. When it's summer and the winds come up from the southwest, the pollutants in the south will be carried northward.
Here, we monitor PM 2.5 in air every hour.
Taiwan's Environmental Protection Administration currently has a total of 76 air quality monitoring stations across the country.
We look for both PM10 and PM 2.5, particularly sodium dioxide, carbon monoxide, nitrous oxide, and trioxygen.
According to the EPA, the limit for PM 2.5 is 15 micrograms per CBM. However, statistics showed that for 2014, of all 22 counties and cities in Taiwan, only Taidong and Hualien were safe from the fine particles, while all other areas had a minimum concentration of double the legal limit. For 2015, readings for PM 2.5 over the Chinese New Year holidays were more than 160 micrograms in southern counties and cities. The number of days that the air quality was deemed good was rare. It seems PM 2.5 has become the latest threat from the above, and no one is safe.
Environmental lessons are best taught young, as youngsters can not only help pass on these messages to their families, but also help keep the planet clean as they grow up. Across Taiwan, Tzu Chi volunteers often head out into their communities to teach conservation lessons to the public. Recently, however, children from New Taipei City and Taichung took a visit to their respective Tzu Chi recycling stations to learn more about safeguarding the planet.
These plastic fruit wrappers, normally discarded, are treated like treasure here at the Tzu Chi recycling station.
The waste management service doesn't recycle these, only Tzu Chi does.
A discarded pen can be taken apart, as the metal springs inside can be recycled. Today's students of Yongping High School's middle school division are here to get some hands-on practice on the lessons they've been learning in school.
Learning about recycling in school may seem boring. However, by coming here, Students can see how practical and close to home the lessons are.
Through sharing what they've learned, the students discover how to apply the message to their own lives.
要的话再买，需要才买，不需要不要乱买。透过环保。
After getting some hands-on experience in recycling, the students can then take these lessons home to share with their family, and then their families can begin to do good deeds as well.
Encouraging all to safeguard planet Earth, Tzu Chi volunteers hope students such as these can help spread recycling practices far and wide. While in New Taipei City, Chisals are breaking down toys at a recycling station.
All the metal has to be removed. This metal part needs to be taken apart as well.
By participating in this event, the youngsters come to understand how arduous it is being a recycling volunteer.
A toy is made up of many different little parts. It takes a lot of time for us to take apart the smaller items.
One person's strength is limited, but if everyone works together to practice recycling, then the power to protect the environment will become something great.
These Chisals from Xindian district are here to learn how to better sort their recyclables.
Conservation lessons must be taught at a young age. When they have grown up, they can pass on these ideals to the younger generation. This is how the cycle of compassion continues.
Continuing the cycle of compassion, recycling volunteers know how to help keep the planet clean. Meanwhile, kindergartners from Taichung are learning some conservation ideals from Tzu Chi volunteers. After a classroom lesson, kindergartners try their hands at recycling plastic bottles. A rainwater collection model for a house also sparks the children's interest.
屋顶可以回收这个雨水，把它储存起来。有没有流到管子里面去？
We want our students to learn at a young age how to be kind to the planet. The earth belongs to everyone. Now that it is in danger, we must uphold our responsibility to it.
Also at the Xintian Recycling and Education Station in Taichung, a group of second graders have come for a visit. However, upon entering the station, they immediately pinched their nose against the smell of the unwashed recyclables.
I learned that soda bottles must be rinsed out before recycling. I think the people here will feel they are smelly.
At the end of the day, the students walk away with lessons to help protect the environment and an understanding that they too have a part to play in safeguarding Mother Earth.
As Tzu Chi prepares to hold its Buddha Day, Mother's Day, and Global Tzu Chi Day Chai celebration in May, Tzu Chi volunteers in Singapore held a gathering to explain the ceremony and encourage participants to adopt a vegetarian diet to honor the occasion, while Indonesia volunteers have been inviting members of the public to attend the local celebration and even led participants in a rehearsal.
Tzu Chi volunteers in Bogor City lead community residents in practicing the steps for the upcoming Buddha Day ceremony.
Jadi dari pagi itu kita sosialisasi tentang Tzu Chi.
With Buddha Day less than a month away, we explain the idea behind it and let them practice walking and bowing to the Buddha.
Harus cari terus karena dibutuhkan banyak peserta.
As Tzu Chi volunteers in Indonesia prepare to celebrate Buddha Day, many look forward to the celebration.
Jadi saya juga lebih bisa
I learned more about Tzu Chi from the gathering, and now I know why we pay homage to the Buddha on Buddha Day. Even though I am not a Buddhist, we all pray for world peace.
Makin banyak yang tahu tentang Tzu Chi.
I hope more people will join Tzu Chi and follow Master Cheng Yin's footsteps to help the needy in Indonesia.
Juga, jadi bisa memperpanjang tangan Master.
As people of different religions prepare to attend the Buddha Day ceremony in Indonesia, the event is sure to highlight the beauty and harmony that exists in this diverse country. Do you know the meaning behind the Buddha Day ceremony? Turning to Singapore, local volunteers held a gathering to explain the meaning behind Buddha Day and also invited the public to attend. During the gathering, children served tea to their parents.
I am deeply touched. Children learn to respect their parents, and I think many parents were moved.
I think 很多 parents 都很感动啦。
I feel very heartened after doing this for my parents because I understand how they feel when they give to me. I love you guys.
他会让你很感动的。
His actions touched my heart. When he finds delicious food, he'd wrap it up in a napkin and tell me, "Mom, this fried pumpkin is for you."
你可能没有吃过，他讲。
I should do my part and do it well.
The volunteers also encourage participants to adopt a vegetarian diet, so to attend the Buddha Day ceremony with a cleansed body and a sincere heart.
Team members in Taiwan recently held a free dental clinic at the Hsinchu branch of the Genesis Social Welfare Foundation. There they helped clean the teeth of 47 patients who are in a persistent vegetative state.
TIMA members start their day early in the morning. As the medical team with 7 dentists and 27 volunteers are serving some special patients today. For 3 consecutive years, TIMA members have been coming to the Hsinchu branch of the Genesis Social Welfare Foundation care home to clean teeth.
There are more than 100 kinds of bacteria in the oral cavity. If we don't prevent the buildup of bacteria, it could eventually threaten their health. I'm glad to be of service here.
As the patients cannot turn their heads, the dentists were required to constantly change their postures during the cleanings. After more than 2 hours, many have developed backaches.
We had to change positions constantly to clean their teeth, so it was a bit difficult, but we do our best to serve.
Every year, TIMA members come to help clean the teeth of our PVS patients, removing their dental plaque. It is a great help, and I am very grateful to them.
Serving these patients tested the dentist's endurance. Nevertheless, they left full of joy, having safeguarded the oral health of those truly in need.
We go to Sanji District, New Taipei City at the end of the show, where TIMA members conduct home visitations to better safeguard local residents' health. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for watching DaAi Headlines. Goodbye.